Welcome back to Northwind Aerial. Today I am going on a nice little solo hike adventure. Gonna be hiking through this dry creek as it turns into a wet creek, seeing where the water comes out of Pine Creek and floods into Eagle Lake. And while we're at it, we'll be going over some of the history of the lake. We'll be talking about Pine Creek and how it helps with the Eagle Lake Trout situation. And we'll just be having a nice little hike together. Come along, enjoy the ride. So these signs are super faded, but they give some really good information about how exactly Eagle Lake trout are raised from fry, eggs, all the way up to release. There's a lot of really good work gets done here at Pine Creek. Yeah, the Lahontan cutthroat. So that's one of the cool things about Eagle Lake trout is they're more of a salmon than a trout. I'm not usually a huge fan of trout meat, but I do love salmon, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I love eating the fish out of this lake is they're so much more pink meat and so much more fat on them than standard lake or brook trout. And they're a ton of fun to catch if you can get out on the water and catch them. We used to be able to just catch them right from the shore, but since the water of Eagle Lake has gone down so much, can't even launch a boat from our dock anymore. It's kind of sad, really. Got to go all the way down to the south end marina, where there's really no infrastructure anymore, but you can still launch there, and that's the deepest part of the lake. Project Eagle Lake Trout. If you're in the area, support them. Keep this lake nice and beautiful. He says, pointing at the dry creek. Nice, dry little creek bed to hike in. I flew over this earlier, and there are pockets of water that I would like to go check and see if there's any. I'd like to go check and see if there's any frogs or fish in them. It's not a spot you can fish in, but there's nothing wrong with going and looking at fish, right? In the wintertime, when we get a lot of snow and rain up here, this whole area is completely flooded in. And when we were up here over New Year's, this whole area over here was all ice. So it's kind of interesting to see it completely dry and not flowing now. There are, however, of course, plenty of years where nothing really flows through Pine Creek because, yeah, the big drought of California might be over, but there's still plenty of areas that are struggling to bounce back from it. This is the fullest I've seen the lake in a very long time, and that's not very full. Gotta kind of make your own trail through here for the most part. There's definitely spots where people have walked, but for the vast majority of it, I am mildly worried about snakes down here, but since I'm making lots of noise, since I'm a YouTuber who has to talk to the camera, hopefully it'll scare them off before I get too close. It's also why I'm staring at the ground. I'm gonna leave it up to the camera to take in most of the beauty, because it's not just the snakes, it's the uneven footing. All these cool little pools, where I'm sure probably bones of fish got trapped in here somewhere if I had to guess. This looks like the main stream bed to me. It's really cool, all these lava rocks and everything over here. They're all so very porous. It's really cool looking. Really cool looking. Starting to get into some of the brush though. And the brushy areas is the stuff that worries me the most, because just a little bit of shade for snakes to live in, but that's why I'm kind of staying on top of the rocks too, trying not to put my ankles anywhere they might get bit. When this is flowing, this is definitely a sight to see, and it also is a really, really nice thought, because you know every ounce of water that's flowing down this creek is going into the lake to fill it up a little bit more. Because, man, I sure hope in my lifetime my kids will be able to swim off the dock again, because when I was a kid we used to be able to literally just go jump right off the dock and swim in full-blown deep water, and now you can't even barely walk out to the lake because of all the mud. It's just so dried up. Started taking to semi-joking about it being called Eagle Prairie instead of Eagle Lake anymore. But here's hoping things are on the right track. Bonus, something got washed down out of the hills. If I had to guess, it's probably from cows there's lots of dairy surrounding this lake, and they're starting to kind of take over, which I'm not a huge fan of, because even on our private property down by where all of us all live and whatnot, there's just cow patties everywhere. Never used to be that way when I was a kid either. Just kind of anarchy, and local government won't do much about it. Kind of unfortunate, letting all the cattle just come out here and graze and poop and do all this nasty stuff wherever they like in an area where everyone's trying to recreate. Kind of frustrating. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. There's so many lizards out here, it's crazy. And it's funny, whenever we used to come up here, this is the only place I'd see lizards. And then even back when I was a kid, a bunch of lizards just moved in around our house. Now, lizards are one of the most plentiful animals that I have around our house. Interesting. I just sometimes wonder how they migrated all the way down. Or they're always out there and they just moved in once we kind of changed a lot of the ground around out there from just row crop ground that got worked up all the time to trees. Don't know. Really cool striations. This makes me want to bring a gold pan out here and sift through here, because I know there is gold in them there hills. I've come out here before many years ago with my aunt, and we did a bunch of gold panning. We found some gold flakes or gold dust. I don't know. Very good chance it could have been mica, but definitely found some goldish colored flakes that were really cool. Yep, there's a little pool of water right there. See if there's any frogs or beasties or what have you here. This is all so sandy. Oh, there's a giant mean looking bug. What the hell is that thing? I have legitimately never seen a bug like that. We have giant water bugs back home, but they're usually the black and shiny kind. I've never seen one all green like that. If I find out what it is, I'll put it up here. If there's nothing here, leave it in the comments and tell me what you think that little beastie is. Probably can't see it on the GoPro because I don't have any zoom, but we got all sorts of little minnows in here. I know I'm supposed to be doing the entertainer YouTuber thing where I'm constantly talking to the camera, but just being down here in this little canyon, just listen. So nice to have silence once in a while. See, I really don't want to hike through all this grass because this is where I assume there's probably snakes. And I know there's a trail up there. So I'm kind of deciding, do I want to backtrack and scale this? Or do I want to kind of go through the scrubland? And I think I'm going to go through the scrubland. I'll just be watching every single step I make and keeping my ears peeled. As I keep getting better and better at making YouTube videos and whatnot, and many of my videos start getting more and more complicated, I sometimes find it nice to just have small little videos like this that kind of do as more of a vlog, more of a just hike and talk than a, oh, let's do all sorts of over-the-top crazy edits, let's do overarching story, let's do a whole big production number. It's nice to just take a walk with the GoPro and like one drone. It's almost kind of like a little break for me in the creative process. Ooh, a little tide pool. It's funny how just nice small little puddle right there. It's just funny how, like, if I was actually on a full-blown hiking adventure, that would be a lifeline right there. Would be siphoning that out to fill some water bottles and whatnot. Which actually brings me to one of the big reasons why I'm kind of making this video. I have this plan, this big plan. It's kind of a pipe dream, especially with how busy my life is. And it's gonna take a lot of planning, but I would love to hike the circumference of Eagle Lake. And I'm talking literally from the North Shore, all the way around the South Shore, all the way back up to the North Shore, literally doing the entire perimeter of the lake. And I'm not talking skipping out on the points either. I'm talking going all the way out to each and every point, putting my toes in the water of each and every point, just to prove that I did the entire circumference. It didn't just walk along the roads, because that right there would add on, oh man, probably another 5 miles or so to the trek. But that would be probably like a week long or more ordeal and I'd have to get resupplied once. And I really want to play around with charging my batteries on my backpack, of basically having a solar panel that would attach right there and be trickle charging one set of batteries no matter what. Got to play around with it a little bit, because on this channel is mostly about drones. I just have to try and incorporate them into the other various adventures and videos I want to do. So if I'm going to be doing a full week-long adventure, I'm going to need to charge drone batteries, because those will run out fairly quickly. Oh, I see a polywog in there. Or it might just be a big bug. Who knows? A little drainage spout over there too. So that must drain off the road. Over on this side of me, and kind of all around, you might be picking out the fact that there's a bunch of burnt trees and whatnot. This is from the whaleback fire, named because of Whaleback Mountain that I was very close to. It actually came very, very close to the town of Spaulding, which is just over that ridge over there, which is my start point. Got really, really close, caused my parents to evacuate from the cabin up here, and has destroyed a lot of the really pretty forest, but it's starting to come back. I mean, there's not as many trees, but there is some, and I'm a big fan of these kind of high desert forest grasses and flowers and whatnot. I mean, just look at these splashes of color everywhere. Still find it funny how, like, my favorite places in the planet to go hike and adventure in are a high desert, whether it's here in California or it's in New Mexico. I just really like going to places where there's lots of high desert. Now we're definitely getting into the water that I saw on the drone earlier. But yeah, I think this must have been some sort of bridge at some point, or some sort of water feature as the water comes down, but I can't tell exactly what. I think not so much a bridge for foot traffic, probably a bridge for animal traffic, or for some sort of research just to kind of come down here. I don't know. What do you think? What's your guess? This is about as close as I can hike to the creek without getting my feet wet or walking in such tall grass I won't be able to see where my feet are going. And I don't want that, because again, beasties. It may seem like I'm way off in the wilderness, but there's literally a town with a general store right over there, and there's a road right on the side of that fence. But hey, I'm out hiking. Can't complain. I almost wish I brought some water purification gear with me so I could pump some water out of that and get a little bit of a drink right now, because that would kind of hit. All right, we've got a fence coming up here, and I've got a really good kind of rock formation right over here. I think this is going to be one of the best spots for crossing. And now I know there is a trail up on top, and I think I'm going to go get onto it. Kind of get out of this creek for a while, because now it's just turning into complete grasslands. Yep, see a little wash up here. Hopefully that takes us up to that big long trail that I saw on the drone. Well, not quite, but I think it's got to be close. Oh, you know what? It's probably up on top of that ridge. Close enough. Some little game trail right along here. Nice view of the creek. I'm really interested though, if I want to get to that little shale, it looks like outcropping out there, where it looks like the water's been coming and raging through that. That right there is my big goal right now. But since there's not much to really show or look at right here, I think this might be a good time to put up the drone and get some video footage of just how this all looks from the air. If I can find a good spot to take off and land, that is.
I brought the DJI Mavic 3 Pro with me on this trip to both add a little bit of weight and make the hike a bit more strenuous, as well as make use of the incredible zoom cameras on it. My go-to hiking drone has always been the DJI Mini 4 Pro, which is lightweight and easily launchable and landable in small areas, but when hiking into mountains, it's hard to beat the 3x and 7x zoom cameras. I'm especially glad I brought the Mavic this time because I was able to check out this fascinating cliffside full of swallows' nests without disturbing any of the birds within. I had no idea this formation was even here until I put the drone up, which is one of the big reasons I love hiking with them. Being able to spot points of interest from the air at a whim.
Well, after putting the drone up, I'm definitely on the wrong side of where I want to be to get a good look at that overhang over there. But that's what drones are for. And pretty sure this is an entire field of stinging nettle. So I'm gonna have to work my way around it and get up on top of this ridge. All right, well, that was nice. Get some little aerial footage. Now I've just got to figure out where I'm going to land a damn thing, because I am surrounded by grass and a 25% battery, so got to bring it down. We're going to have to get a little bit creative like we did with launching it. Not as well as I would have liked, but hey, we're good. All right, off we go. I think the best place to cross over is going to be right up here, that break in the fence. Otherwise I have to go all the way up there and I don't want to bother those nice people. So gonna try and avoid as much nettle as possible, get through the fence and get up there on that road. Because I am starting to kind of run out of time for this adventure. There we go. We're getting a really good view of that pocket of water from up here. So as you can see, I'm not very far from civilization. In fact, this is that path I was looking at, big old footpath, which obviously has lots of footprints on it. Cool. I was afraid I was going to catch my backpack. Just to make sure that I'm not breaking the law or anything. There are tire tracks, there are footprints, there are dog prints. This is a well-used hiking trail. All of these fences are just to keep cattle in. There's a couple different mountaintops you can kind of see from here, especially that one. Where's the angle right? That one? That one, whatever it is. Not sure how well I'm getting the angle on the GoPro, but there's an old abandoned lookout up there where I think the lookout tower itself burned down. And it's basically got a nice big flat concrete pad up there. And I really want to go stay the night and set up a time lapse of the stars up there, because I think that would be really, really cool. If I had to guess, I think that swallow nest is right over there, and there's actually a like little path that heads out there. Let's go check it out. This is a really cool little area. Loving all this sand. All right, so I know exactly where I'm going to end my journey. There's a sign out there right on that point. I want to make it to that sign, see what it says, because I didn't know there was a sign out there, and then we'll start our journey back. I get up here into these hills, and I swear to God, if I had the time and ability, I would spend all day, every day, hiking through these hills. I love the rabbit brush, I love the sagebrush, I love the high desert hills. There's just so many different places here that I want to go and explore. It's like that whole ridge up there, there's still snow on that ridge. I want to go up there and melt some snow and get a drink of water. I'm thirsty, if you couldn't tell. I want to go up to that ridge. I want to stay the night on that ridge. I want to know what's on the top of that peak. There's so many different ridge lines over there I'd love to go hike. Everything up there, Fredonia Mountain. I'd love to go stay the night on Fredonia Mountain, but that's a heck of a journey. I get out here with my pack on my back, and all I want to do is hike. I could just hike all day, every day. And one of the big reasons that I've started doing all this again, and it's funny because one of the biggest motivating factors for me coming out here and doing all these hikes is you guys. I love coming out here, bringing you guys on these little mini adventures, even though it's not so much a oh, let's talk about drones and their uses today. Sometimes I only get 1 or 2 flights in, sometimes I get no flights in, but as the channel has continued to grow, I like talking to this camera. Even though you guys won't see this until it's all edited and cleaned up and whatnot, it still feels like I'm bringing people with me. I'm showing this to all of you guys. I'm not out here hiking completely alone, which I am at the moment. Technically, I am completely alone out here, except for the dirt bikers and the town over there. But The only person I have to talk to is the camera, which is you guys. I don't know. It's so much fun. It's one of those things where I'm like, I'm so glad that I got into YouTube, because this has just been such a great creative outlet for me, and I love bringing you guys along and showing you these really cool places. This loops all the way around, and then it loops back over there, and there's our sign, which will give us a good view of where all of this flows into the lake. Whoa! I have never seen a flower like that up here. I bet you this is it almost looks like some sort of poppy because of that seed pod, but I could be wrong. You know, we've seen all these red flowers, we've seen all these yellow flowers, but finding that perfect little, just one flower growing in the middle right there of that kind of pinkish, whitish fuchsia color, that just made my damn day. That was so pretty. There's just so much to love about the high desert, especially when you're right next to the lake. Oh, there's another one. Look, here's another one. There's a better view of how it looks like entirely. I have never seen a flower like that up here before in my life, and I've been coming here for 34 years. That's right, I've been coming here since before I was born. My mother actually came up here with me when she was pregnant with me. Had to hike through the snow because I am a winter baby. All right, well, we have gotten to this sign. See what it says, but I see that trail leads off to that point, and I want to go see what's at that point. And then we're going to take this whole trail right here back. Well, I wish I could say that this sign is some sort of fancy explaining everything going on out here, but in reality it just says, hey, don't drive your vehicle past here, and looks like it got hit by, I don't know, something. Continue on to the end of this point, see what we can see, and then we'll take a shorter road back, not hiking through the creek itself. I still can't believe there's snow up here, because it's not hot right now, but it's definitely warm. It's warmish, coolish. It's I wouldn't want to hike many more miles without getting some water in me, that's for sure. One of my earliest videos on the channel was filmed right over there in that red rock quarry. If you want to watch that, it's a very, very, very old video of mine. It's in the link right there. This creek and the creek that floods in at the south end of the lake are both completely off limits for fishing, and I agree with conservation rules and regulations. Most of them, but definitely about fishing in spawning grounds such as this. Well, got a little bit of a ways to get back into town. Maybe I'll put the drone up again, get some more aerial shots.
Getting outside and hiking is one of those things I always tell myself I need to do more. Not just for the exercise, but to clear my mind. A good walk always seems to put my head in the right place. In total, I hiked about 4 miles and got back just in time to make it to the 4th of July parade in Spaulding. A great hike followed by a small town America parade and celebration is pretty hard to beat.
Well, this has been a really fun little adventure for me, and hopefully you enjoyed tagging along. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking, consider subscribing. It encourages me to get outside and explore more of this for you guys. Come up to Eagle Lake and take a walk sometime. There's really nothing a good walk won't fix. Sometimes the best thing for your mood and obviously for your exercise is to just get out and take a walk. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.